She looked me straight in the eyes and swore she never cheated. So I cooked her the most romantic dinner of her life and made her believe she just ate her own horse. Pause. This isn't a story about anger. It's a story about patience. If you've ever been lied to, humiliated, or made to feel stupid by someone you trusted, hit that like button, subscribe, and settle in. Because this revenge, it wasn't loud, it wasn't violent, but it was psychological perfection. Let me take you back about 6 or 7 years, back when we were students, back when everything felt smaller, except betrayal. This story isn't mine. It belongs to a friend of mine. Let's call him John. And John was painfully easy to root for. He wasn't flashy. He wasn't arrogant. He was just good. Good student. Good looking in a quiet way. The kind of guy teachers trusted and friends relied on. And for a long time, he was dating Jane. Jane was the kind of girl people noticed the moment she walked into a room. Long brown hair, athletic build from years of horse riding, confident, popular. She even owned her own horse, raised it from a pony. If you were her friend, she could be charming. But if you weren't, she could be cold, dismissive, cruel. Our class was almost physically divided because of her people on one side, everyone else on the other. Still with John, she seemed different. Kinder, softer. At least at first. As time passed, something shifted. Jane became more irritable, more critical, less patient, and more importantly, more flirtatious. Not openly, not recklessly, but strategically, she'd laugh a little too long at certain jokes. Touch an arm she didn't need to touch. Accept attention, without shutting it down, especially from one person. Jim. Jim was John's best friend. They'd known each other since elementary school. Jim used to have a crush on Jane back in high school, but when she chose John, he backed off completely. No bitterness, no drama, or so John thought. Jane knew about that old crush, and instead of respecting boundaries, she leaned into it, always when John wasn't around, always just subtle enough to deny. We told John something felt off. He listened. He noticed, but he loved her. And love has a way of making you second-guess your instincts. Christmas break came. Families. Distance. One night Jane and Jim went to a party together. Same hometown, mutual friends. John didn't go. He was with family he hadn't seen in months. Alcohol flowed. And that night, Jane cheated. She pulled Jim into a room and crossed the line. The next morning, Jim sobered up, and reality hit him like a truck. He didn't hesitate. He got in his car and drove straight to John's house, hands shaking, voice breaking. He told John everything, admitted fault, took responsibility. Even offered to let John hit him. John didn't, because betrayal hurts most when it comes from someone you trusted, but lies hurt even more, and Jim wasn't lying. New Year's Eve, that's when John confronted Jane, calmly, carefully, asked her about the party. And Jane, she exploded. How dare he believe such a thing? How insulting, how disgusting. She said Jim tried to take advantage of her, that she was drunk, that it was just a kiss, not a single hesitation, not a flicker of guilt. And that's when something changed inside John. He apologized, he smiled. He spent the night with her, and inside his head, he started planning. End of January, their anniversary. Jane thought she was coming home to a normal evening. Instead, she walked into a dream. Rose petals on the floor, candlelight, soft music. John had cooked, and John could cook. The kind of dishes that looked like art, smelled like comfort, tasted like trust. They sat, they ate. She praised the food. And John smiled. Then he said, "See, I told you you'd love your horse even on your plate." Her fork clattered to the table, her face drained of colour. She stood up so fast the chair fell backward. She ran, screaming, gagging, panic tearing through her body. She rushed into the bathroom, only to find the toilet sealed shut, duct-taped, and on the seat a braid, her horse's braid. She collapsed, sobbing, vomiting, breaking, calling the horse's name over and over like a prayer. John sat at the table, calm, finished his meal, then stood, picked up his things, and said quietly, "I knew you cheated the day after it happened. We're done." "Oh, and happy anniversary." Then he left. Here's the final twist. It wasn't her horse. The meat was horse meat, but not her horse. The braid was real. The lie was precise. She locked herself inside her apartment for days, grieving a horse that was still alive. She only found out the truth when a friend asked why she hadn't come riding. Justice didn't scream. It whispered and it echoed. Revenge doesn't always need fists or shouting. Sometimes it just needs patience and the courage to walk away after the truth finally lands. If this story gave you chills, hit like, subscribe, and tell us in the comments. Backhand index pointing right, was this revenge justified or too far? And if you want more Reddit revenge stories that hit hard and stay with you, you know what to do.